Welcome back to Dum-Dums and Dragons, where improvisers who've never roleplayed before journey into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am the Grand Wizard Bukake, your host. Our heroes are incarcerated inside Greensboro Penitentiary, but they've sorted out their plan and are beginning their escape. But will Butthole keep Gary on board with the idea of saving Paladin Von Strauss? Will Quinny solve the mystery of all the Quinny guards? Will Alan really pull Xanthus into her own mind and maybe kill everyone in the process? Find out next on Dum-Dums and Dragons.
Alan, you're going to attempt to bring Xanthus into your mind palace.
Yep, nothing could go wrong.
Okay. Can you please roll me an Arcana check?
Yes. 18.
Your shock collar goes off and deals you
Ouch.
12 points of damage.
Oh, shit.
You start to suspect that the magical energy that you were using was perhaps not your own.
Well, what the hell do I do now? I'm asking, hoping Xanthus will answer.
Sorry, using magic back there? Because you shouldn't, because of the...
Well, I figured that...
They'll tase the hell out of you.
Well, I got that now.
Sorry, I should have led with that. I thought that was obvious.
I thought so too. What's going on, Alan? I've been swearing for like 2 minutes.
Billy Fingers comes out, runs up on your knee, and just pats you.
Oh my god. I go to just get rid of this.
I pull him out of the way. No. This is Billy.
A what?
He's cool. He's a friend.
He does the little tree thing in your hand.
Then I point at him and go, yeah, I made him.
This is my
Not
familiar.
surprising. You have a style.
Yeah, I got a gift.
I would not call it a gift. I'd call it a style.
Gary, the longer we stick around, the more friends are going to show up. Just a cavalcade of
Smash
familiars.
cut to outside the prison where Goblin Jr. with Wrench riding on his back are just like patrolling back and forth,
Yeah.
scheming angrily.
We should probably get going before, I don't know, Bucky shows up.
Did you just improvise that, or is there an actual
No, that's his
friend?
real name.
I don't even care who. You've changed, Quinny. I thought you were a better rogue. It is better to deal in silence by yourself.
I used to think so too, but I was also dead before, so you kind of got to take what life throws at you. And death. And then life again.
I think you should workshop that.
Yeah, it's been a weird day.
We should go soon if we are all prepared.
I'm ready, but I'm worried about Alan. You're tasing yourself. What's going on?
I'm just worried, like, what if I keep getting hurt? I don't know what's going on.
You hear in your head, Alan,
Xanthus, what's up? Where'd you go?
they found me. I tried to get away, but they found me.
Where are you?
I'm in hiding. Can you lend me any strength, any power at all?
Yeah, but you're going to have to make the connection. I can't do anything from here.
We're trying to break out of prison, so what are you planning to do?
Who are you connecting with?
With Xanthus, keep up.
Xanthus. Yes, it's definitely Xanthus.
I don't know who's talking in your head. I found out about Xanthus 4 minutes ago.
He's the only person talking in my head.
Okay, see, that's good to know. There's not a second voice.
Alan, give me your hand.
Okay.
You do that mental handshake thing again. You reach out, and you are shocked by the shock collar
Fucking hell.
for 8 points of damage.
Gary
And
just froze his arms up.
throws his arm up.
No, sorry, he has two arms.
Oh, he's just missing
Eric
a wing.
just has a wing. No, he's not a dragon, or it would be the right thing. Like,
Right,
yeah, he's got
yeah.
arms and then wings.
Gotcha.
Oh, so you
Okay.
got like angel wings at
just-
the back kind of thing?
Essentially.
For those of you with DeviantArt accounts, just that's what it looks like. That's what he looks like. Just if you happen to feel an artistic urge.
If your pen happens to fall onto a paper in a Gary-shaped way.
I'd love that.
So, Alan, you get shocked, but you kind of force your way through it, and you can feel some sort of energy exchange. And then you just hear Xanthus say, "Thank you." And you hear a cavalcade of magic and explosions. This time it doesn't blow up your head, though.
I just throw my hands up in the air and be like, let's just go.
We'll deal with it, okay? Let's get out first, and then we'll
Yeah.
have all the resources of the airship and everything like that once we're outside.
Just make sure until we sort it out that you don't make any deals. You never know the consequences of giving things to secret powers. Okay, so just don't do that and you're fine.
The ink spreads slightly across your face.
You did it, didn't you?
Well, yeah, but before he said that,
Okay, well, let's make it clear. Don't give up stuff to supernatural beings when you don't know what they've got. And in case you bleed again, I take the shirt of my prison fatigues off because it's fucking big, because I'm big. And I just put it on over your other shirt so that it won't show through if anything weird happens to your body while we're there.
As you do it, you can see that the injury to Alan's arm has healed up as though by magic.
Wow.
Is that what you shocked yourself? You're healing your arm?
well, I wasn't healing it. Well, kind of.
You know what? Let's just move on. Okay, so there's your
need to
big
get
coat.
moving.
I'm shirtless and I look okay. It's not Forsaken anymore. The guts back. Everything's a little ham hockey about this torso.
Great. So the four of you and Billy Fingers make your way through the jail. Because it's work hours, people are coming and going, but honestly, people just aren't asking any questions because Gary's around. Everybody likes Gary.
Years of work have paid off.
Years of quiet perception.
Remembering birthdays, so and so. It's a prison game.
So you make your way to the West Wing. Gary and Stitch, you guys remember this as the old kitchen. The back door has been boarded up, sealed, and concreted over. It seems to just be kind of a refuse space. There's just a bunch of garbage laying around, boxes, the aforementioned toilet paper that we know is in this prison. There's some extra dwarf skulls in case they need to make any new water coolers, and there's a broken bone clock in the corner.
Gary, so far I'm on the same page as you for a lot of this stuff. We got to get up to the warden is the ultimate goal.
Yes, but first we need to find your paladin.
Paladin von Strauss.
Yes, we should go to him. There's, as we've surmised, 2 places he could be. I think the medical area.
I don't know, from the way they welcomed him.
Well, it is not medical anymore in the sense of helping, but more so for those tools for harming.
Wow, okay, yeah, let's
They
go
torture
to
him. Did you get that? Was
Yeah,
that
I
clear?
got that.
Okay,
Thank you.
great.
Yeah.
Just seeing,
If he's in the torture place, should we get our gear before we go try to pull him out of torture?
Yes, Nada should hopefully be meeting us here with our gear.
Let's find out.
Any moment.
A goblin in an oversized prison jumpsuit comes in with a mop, and he's just mopping away, and the mop is bigger than him because it's a human-sized mop. So he's just kind of grabbing the bottom, and he's just like humming a jaunty tune, and as soon as he sees that you guys are alone in here, he immediately drops the mop. Oh, I'm so sorry. I have something for you from Nada. So I'm going to roll a dice and see who gets gear. Quinny, you're number 1. Buttle, you're number 2. Gary, number 3. And
Wait, I have
Alan, you're number
gear?
4.
From when you got
From back
arrested.
when you got
way
arrested the
back
first
when.
time, yeah.
Wow.
It's going to be some real old jerky.
something that's like way out of style now. You've got like a pastel suit.
It's Don Johnson's costume from Miami Vice, but sized for a bird person.
We're going with that for sure.
Yeah, it's a was up t-shirt.
That's right. Yeah.
So, Alan, the goblin passes you your, what would you like?
Glass staff.
He quickly pulls the sheath off the mop handle and reveals that it was in fact your glass staff with a mop taped to the bottom of it. He's like, I had to break a very nice mop for this.
Your sacrifice is noted, gentle goblin.
Do you have the cloak of the bat?
Well, what do you think I wrapped this mop in? So he hands you the cloak. You notice, though, that there's blood on the staff.
What? Who touched my staff?
Well, I found Nada. She was pretty hurt, but she got me the staff, and she said to bring it to the useless one so she'd be less useless.
Goblin, what happened to Nada?
She walked right into holding and just said, give me all the gear or I'll fight you.
What? That's not what we told her to
not
do
what we
at
trained her to
all.
do
She seemed very confident.
Guys, we made her too brave. Did any of us say don't get cocky, kid? You have to say that.
No, I did not say that.
Oh, no, the kid got cocky. Is she close?
Her body is.
Oh, is she dead?
Well, yeah.
Fuck.
That
Aw.
is
How
most
long ago?
unfortunate.
I don't know.
It's going to be more than 60 seconds. Yeah, I can't swing
It's
that.
too late now. Any other equipment, Goblin friend?
That's all she was able to get.
A cloak and a staff?
Yep.
You seem pretty sneaky. You want to get out of here?
Wait, what?
You said small, sneaky team. What's smaller or sneakier than a goblin?
I got this mop head.
He's got a mop head. That's already more than you have, Gary. You're
He
looking down on
slowly
it. but
lowers
think
it
about
onto his head, and he's like, and now it's a disguise wig.
Yeah, no, butthole, this seems like a bad idea, actually.
No, he's perfect. He's disguised.
Who are you even?
We could put him in closets and say, this is a mop.
No.
I bet they fall for it.
No, we are just going the four of us now. We're not taking... What is your deal, Goblin friend?
My name's Kevin,
Kevin, okay.
and I am a master of disguise.
Are you actually not a goblin, Kevin?
Because that would be impressive.
Surprise! And
Oh.
he tries to take his nose off. He's like pinching his cheeks and being like, look how realistic it looks.
We're going.
As everyone else goes, I go at the back of the group and I just hold my pants out so Kevin can climb in.
This is only
Does
the
Kevin
second.
read that as an invitation? Is Kevin like, oh, I belong in there?
I look back and nod
He
into my
looks and he
pants.
goes, oh, the ultimate disguise. And he climbs into your pant leg. He's now clutching your leg,
Perfect. I walk on with the group.
muttering, surprise.
Great. We lost an orc. We gained a sneaky goblin. Sneaky
Kevin, the
is in
master of
quotations.
disguise.
Yeah.
So you go up to the boarded up door and kind of force your way through it. It doesn't take too much work. It seems to be sort of a hasty job. As you do so, you realize that perhaps it's been used more often than you'd anticipated. Once you start kind of trying to break away at it, the whole thing clicks and swings open. So now the entire concreted up part of the entranceway has swung open. And before you is a long, dark hallway that the two of you who previously spent time here remember is one of the main connecting halls.
Right, okay.
You know that up ahead of the hall, there's a T-junction. One way leads off towards the former infirmary. One leads off towards the former gymnasium. What do you do?
Question for your DM, because you mentioned the tower ultimately, which is where Gary wants to make this escape, is to the north. Is there any efficient way to kind of take this subterranean route to get to the tower? Or is
Can you please roll me a history, and Ryan, can you roll me an insight, please?
Yeah. 6.
23.
You've grown so used to the new jail now, Gary, it's kind of hard for you to piece it together. That being said, Butthole, from what you can remember of the carved 3D map, you remember always being fascinated by the interior things he'd carved out. So you suspect there might be secret passages. You have no idea where they would be, but he did seem very interested in paths. Because if you'll remember, it was the size of a Rubik's Cube, kind of eschery, and was just him playing with different concepts for the jail.
Okay, so there are secret passages that might help us get to the end game. I don't know how to get there. Just a second. And I walk over to the corner of the hallway, and I pull out the front of my pants, and I say into my pants, "Hey, Kevin, do you know about any secret passageways anywhere?
I think I found one while mopping once, but it was back in the East Wing.
Do you think we could get there without any guards seeing us from here?
We're pretty far away. You'd have to cross the yard.
Okay, I still love you." And then I close my pants up again and go back to the group and I say, "Oh, my dick could not answer that question."
What do you mean, your dick? Like, look at him. Hi, Kevin.
Yes. You're just carrying a live creature in your pants, and it is bulging the size of your torso.
Okay, if you were someone else, I'd probably try to keep this dream alive. But fine, I brought Kevin. You're all racist against goblins. And I reached down to take Kevin out. And I say, he knows where a secret passage is. It's on the wrong side of the yard, but maybe you know how to get to the other side of the yard because you know stuff.
To get to the other side of the yard, we have to cross the yard.
He's right.
Fine. Let's go get Paladin von Strauss, and then we'll worry about the rest.
You know what? I'm starting to think getting this paladin of yours is just not worth our time. We have a limited window where the head of security is sleeping, and I'm not sure for how long. Nada is now dead, and our window for escape is quickly dwindling.
Can I see the door to the medical wing?
Have you entered the hallway yet? I kind of imagine you're standing at the threshold.
I think we maybe step in the hallway.
Yeah, I imagine we're in the hallway.
All right, great. Everybody
So
roll
we're
a
in the
save.
hallway.
Oh, great.
Who goes first?
Trap.
So Gary and I will go together as we're arguing vociferously about the Paladin.
Sure,
Right, yeah.
yes.
So you walk into it once the last one of you is through, the concrete door swings shut, and to your surprise, a grid of red beams appears at the end of the hall and starts racing towards you.
Like
so
Resident
new.
Evil?
exactly like
what?
Resident Evil.
That's new.
Or Cube.
Yeah?
So I'm going to need some dex saves.
Dex save.
Or con if you want to just try and muscle through.
Well, it's a moot point for me, so I'll go Dex 4.
18, and I have evasion.
Con for 11.
21, and I have evasion. Thank you for the reminder, Julian.
Oh, my pleasure.
Those of you who saved successfully, you managed to do the whoa, whoa, whoa. It's not a
Classic rogue move. Whoa.
It's individual lasers coming at you, not a full
Grid or whatever.
It's not the insta-gib wall yet. So to your surprise, Kevin manages to dodge. It does cut through his wig, but it wasn't that good to begin with. Butthole, you're going to take 10 points. Alan, you're going to take 5.
I step in front of Alan as though I'm going to shield her from the laser, not realizing that it goes over me and then hits her
Right,
also
it's a light,
behind
yeah,
me.
yeah,
It's,
there
not,
is no
it's not a
space.
straight line.
Yeah.
I'll do a bit of Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil 4 in that laser hallway.
Yep. Great.
I do the whole entrapment dodge. Catherine Zeta-Jones just like, meow, just down, leg out.
Yeah.
No, I'll do the Sean Connery version of that, where you stand there and go, nice, and then get hit with the lasers.
Every Catherine Zeta needs a Sean Connery. That's not true. That's not true. If you're listening, Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Be free.
She's a big fan.
Okay, great. So you're halfway down the hall, and you can see the beams are starting up again from behind you. So do you want to try and sprint to the end of the hall or dodge the beams?
Gary, in this odd choice rules moment, gets up and says, "This is another reason why we should abandon your paladin friend."
I'm running to the other end of the hallway already.
I curse and I'm following.
I'm sprinting.
I've got limited mobility now in my new body. I'm going to try and dodge.
Okay, if you're running, I need strength checks. If you are dodging, I need dex checks.
Yeah, I'm going to dodge again.
11.
27.
12.
26.
11.
You should be glad that you rolled above 10, Butthole, and Alan, you're still taking half damage. I rolled 22 for damage, so take 11.
Jesus fuck.
Those of you who ran, you've successfully made it to the end of the hall.
Oh no, we should have ran.
The two of you who dodged, you've got one more. This time it looks like the grid is closing in, so it's going to be a disadvantage, but if you pass this one, you're free and clear.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just going to roll disadvantage.
Yeah, I'm going to do that too.
3.
Oh.
1. So probably fail with under 10, but I will reduce the damage by half because of evasion.
Nice.
11 with evasion.
All right, so you'll take half, and you'll reduce, so you'll both take half. All right, I rolled 24, so take 12.
Ouch.
Kevin, in a truly astounding feat of dexterity, passed all 3 of his checks.
And I look at Kevin and say, truly, you are the best of us.
Thank you. Okay. Laser wall.
Kevin, did you know about this at all by chance?
No, I didn't know about this perchance.
What are you? I've never seen you before. You're a janitor just in the old disused part of this prison?
No, I was out. I saw Nada, and she asked me to help you guys.
You're a friend of Nada, like beforehand?
I'm just scared of her. She's twice my size.
That's fair. Kevin, I misjudged you. Apologies.
That's okay. You remembered my birthday a long time ago. It's
Oh,
fine.
right. And I say yes, I
Smash cut to you bringing a birthday cake in for someone unrelated, and he was like, "You remembered."
Of course, Jennifer. Happy birthday.
Okay, so you're now at the end of the hallway. There are lanterns lit along the way to the former medical facility. The ceiling has collapsed over where the former gymnasium was. And you can hear noises coming from down the hall. There appears to be a set of double doors, and you can see there's lights on behind it.
We should sneak up and investigate.
Cloak of the Bat.
I'm probably going to get shocked if I use it.
Well, I didn't realize it was magically activated.
It's
Or
a
does-
magical item.
Gary,
but,
maybe you
I
know
mean,
because you've seen magic users here. You might have a better idea. Does it only shock you if you try to use the magic that's inside your body? Because the cloak magic could be outside, but it would affect the body. Have you seen anybody get healed wearing a collar?
Yes, I actually have.
Did they get tased?
No, they did not.
Listen, I'm an insight guy, but I would say that might mean you're okay with the cloak. Because spells can get cast on you, and the cloak is casting a spell on you. If you're wrong, I'll heal you and I'll get tased. So it'll sort of be like a spiritually appropriate thing. Wait, what the fuck am I doing? God, take a knee. You become atheist for a while, and it really just screws you up. Oh, yeah, we're fine.
What just
Use the
happened?
cloak. You're going to be fine.
He just prays. It's just
That was a very quick pray.
yeah.
It's a snap prayer. I mean, when you're this close to the goddess, you don't got to worry. She's running hell.
Moonhammer, you said?
Yeah,
The way I can break it down for you is he just makes a decision.
from a goddess.
Yeah, he flavors it or whatever.
Oh, good
Yeah.
for you. Praise Moonhammer.
I don't like the tone on that one, but
Like, no, she really does exist, though.
yeah, but we watched her
Like,
blow
we-
up.
we
She's
all
the
met
queen of
her.
hell. Like, if you die on this and you make fun of her, you're going to have a bad fucking time.
Okay, I'm sorry for, treading on some feet here. I've just never heard of this goddess. And your ways are your own. It is not for me to criticize them. He
Yeah,
looks
guys.
poignantly at Kevin.
Leave Gary alone.
Thank you, Kevin. I feel it is
He's the
unearned.
best
but-
of us.
Do you know what? I should learn from your magnanimity, Kevin.
Kevin bows, and what's left of his wig falls off.
You look better without it.
Disguise. He's disguising his own fears. Okay, so you want to sneak up to the
Yeah,
to the doors.
that's what Gary's pitching. Maybe
Yeah.
not even all of us. I don't know what's wisest
Well,
here. but-
I'm pretty terrible, so I'm going to shift through the rubble and see if I can find fist-sized rocks just for bonking.
Bonking?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I'll try sneaking up to the door.
I'm sneaky too.
And now you're going to try the cloak of bat?
Butthole, you better be right. And I just shake my head, grab the edges of the cloak, and try to turn into the bat. Whirl it around. I get shocked, right? I get fucking shocked.
The only shock is that you turned into a bat successfully.
Hey!
Wow.
What a fake out, you jerk.
I look over
Gotta
at
keep you on
Gary.
your toes.
Tom's giving me this look like, are you sure you want to do this?
See, Gary, I told you the goddess never lies.
That was the cloak.
Yeah, I told you the cloak would work. She didn't get shocked, did she?
No, she didn't.
Question, is Billy just like on my back now?
Follow-up question. Is Billy Fingers a tiny bat made entirely of wings?
That can't be right. Or wait.
No, Billy, this is the first time you turn into a bat with Billy.
Yeah.
So he kind of falls out of your pocket during the transformation and then is clinging on to you. So both of you just immediately fall and hit the ground.
Okay. Ouch.
I'll catch you guys.
Sorry,
I'm going to
Billy.
catch you.
Roll me a dex check.
12.
So you avoid the 2 points of damage you would have taken from falling.
Thanks, Squinty.
No
So
problem.
Billy Fingers looks around and his two eyes are very shocked and confused, but he is kind of used to it. So he goes and skitters up onto Butthole's shoulder because he remembers who made him.
And then I'd look to Billy and say, hey, can you help me find a rock that's like as big as you, just in this pile?
He hops off and proceeds to do weird, like, kid testing their height against another kid thing with rocks, but he's doing it with one bent finger.
I'm beside him just looking at other rocks going like, too big, not big enough. I mean, from sand to like a big piece of the wall. I'm good. I'm doing big picture because I figure he'll handle like the, macro, micro. I'm going to let him handle the small stuff.
I'm going to start sneaking.
Yeah.
So if both of you can roll me stealth checks, please.
25.
11.
Alan, are you coming with as a bat?
Yeah, I'm going to fly along the ceiling.
Okay. Butthole, while you're looking for rocks, can you roll me an insight check, please? I'll let you have advantage because Billy's helping.
Well, thank God.
15.
So you find a rock that, even though it's not the biggest, not the best, it reminds you a hell of a lot of your old departed pal, Old Helmet Head.
And I look at him and I say, young helmet head, will you join me on this journey And he says nothing. And I go, just like your father.
Great. Billy is gesturing in that LeBron James style. He has his arms out at a very jagged rock that has like finger holds in it.
Wow.
It would be perfect, but your choice is made.
Kevin goes and picks up the good rock.
No, because Kevin is what wrecks Gary's stealth check. He's trying to do exactly what Gary's doing, but underfoot. And every time you
Shoo him kind of away, being like,
kind of, but like he keeps freezing when you touch him because he thinks that you're trying to help. He thinks you guys make a great team is basically what we're getting at.
I go back and like just give him a very pointed look.
Now we know how scary the Gary look is. Oh, he rolled a perfect 20, so he's not frightened of you. He takes that to mean he's doing great, and he gives you a thumbs up.
I just facepalm loudly.
Yeah,
there
it
you
just
go.
echoes to just the sound of.
And Quinny, you've made it up to the door.
Yeah.
Can you please roll me a dexterity save?
A 9.
The sneaking is going great, but then there's a clap from down the hallway, and you try and freeze in case anyone looks, but you're still so big. You're
Right.
used to just being able to, kind of duck into your cloak. And you hear some commotion through the doors.
Getting louder, coming closer.
You can't tell, it just seems like a flurry of motion.
You said there was light coming through. Can I look through one of the gaps where it shows light?
Sure, you can peek through. It's got 2 circular windows, basically.
Since it's dark out here in the hall, right? Mm-hmm. And there's light in there, should be okay for me to look through without them seeing me. So I'm just going to peek through the window.
Sure.
What do I see?
Inside, you're happy to see that no one's rushing the door or setting up defenses. It's very brightly lit. There seem to be sort of a bunch of lanterns around, and at the far end of the room, you can actually see almost the equivalent of a Stargate. So a large circular metal ring
Whoa.
with a bunch of glowing stones around it. And the surface seems to ripple a bit, and beyond it, you can see what looks like a lab.
Okay, I don't see anyone in this room then.
No, it seems the commotion you're hearing is from people banging around in the lab.
I'm going to motion everyone to come up to the door then.
I'm walking upside down along the ceiling.
I'll pick up Billy Fingers and put him on my shoulder again, and we're going to go join.
So you all make it up to the door. Alan, because you have bat senses now, can you roll me a perception check, please?
Yeah. 20 total.
Similar to Quinny, you aren't really able to see much, and also your bat vision's not great, but using your echolocation, what's odd is you can feel the sound waves bouncing back off the surface of the Stargate. So you're setting out your sonar into the room, it's bouncing off all the walls, but it's not carrying through into the other room.
Oh.
We look up at the bat, and it just goes, like that's all we get. Alan, you can change back. There's no one here.
I think it's got limited charges.
Does it have limited charges? Just nod.
And I just nod furiously.
Do you have like one more?
I shake my head. No.
Alan, is it safe to go into the next room?
Is there anything you're aware of that'll kill us?
I shake my head. No.
All right, I'm going to push the door open.
I raise up young Helmet Head.
So you step into the room. It definitely does look almost like an excavation site to some extent in terms of the lanterns up, and there's some assorted gear around. Through the portal, you can see a very brightly lit, almost painfully brightly lit, very sterile looking room, lots of metal, and you can see someone in a very fine but very dirty white coat moving around with a clipboard, sort of examining large glass tubes.
Can I see what's in the tubes?
You can see there's bubbles and you can see shapes kind of moving in them, but it's a much larger room that you're looking into, and you're in kind of a dark room through a portal. So
Right.
you can see it, but it's kind of like trying to look into a library from outside the door.
Gary, where the hell are we?
I don't go down here at all. I have no idea, but perhaps your magical now bat friend could tell us, but this seems like possibly a way out that is a different area, no?
But considering the laser traps, could this thing be trapped?
I'll check.
How?
Gary thinks you're going to walk through, and that's not a great choice.
Well, look,
Kevin immediately starts pulling his foot back from walking through and is like, yeah, Quinny.
Kevin, you
there
got to
are-
stay quiet or you're going back in the pants, bud, okay?
Or you're going to walk through.
there are certain telltale signs of traps when it comes to this kind of thing. On the outside, I've gotten somewhat good at discovering them, tripping them, that kind of thing.
Gary kind of chuckles and be like, now I recognize you, Quinny. It's
Yeah.
good to hear your chain of thought again.
Well, I don't have my tools on me, so this is going to be a little more challenging, but I should at least be able to tell if it's booby trapped, not necessarily disable it.
I point to Billy Fingers, who still has a hairpin.
He
Point
holds it
furiously.
up dramatically like
I'm just
Link
like-
on the cover of a Zelda box.
Yeah.
Da-na-na-na.
Is this any good?
Yes!
Oh, okay, then you can have that. And I hold Billy Fingers out to you, and then he climbs onto your arm up to your shoulder.
That's fine. I take the thing out of his many fingers, and I give him a little fist bump, and he like rolls up into a ball and taps me, and then rolls again. I'm like, good moves there, Billy. And I go to work examining
And
this entryway.
kneel down and start praying. And while I'm praying, I'm really just letting my brain take the image it's seen and try to somehow put it together along with thoughts of sandwiches and former magic and that time I got beat up as a kid for saying the word wrong. Just the whole journey of my life's going on, but I'm trying to insight together.
So you're inciting. Gary, what do you want to be doing?
Gary's going to take a trial at just trying to investigate or trying to assess, how safe he thinks this portal is.
Okay, cool. Bat Allen, what are you going to do?
I want to flit around the entrance to the gate, and I want to see if I can see like different angles into the room behind it.
Very cool. Quinny, can you please roll me a dexterity save?
That is 15.
Okay, so that was to determine how quietly you're able to tinker.
Okay.
Can you then roll me, please, a perception?
Perception, you say?
Can I assist? Because I think I'm trying to help him with this, essentially. I'm just making sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So investigation as well to help, or?
Yes, please.
Great.
16.
16.
Okay, great. Quinny, you don't find any traps that you recognize on this thing. Also, it's very strange to you. It seems to be mechanical, not magical.
Whoa.
But it's far beyond anything you've ever seen. But you aren't finding any of the usual things you'd expect on something like this that would like collapse it on you or do anything of that ilk. Gary, in terms of your searching it, I think like you peek behind it, and behind it you just see blank wall.
Cool.
Similar to Alan, the two of you can see different angles. Alan, I'm going to give you some different stuff since you're flitting around. And Butthole, can you roll me an insight check, please? Do you want to risk the caller to get some Moonhammer assistance on that?
No, I feel like Moonhammer's really good with Moonhammer magic. This would be one where I'm like, if I can't figure it out, she probably didn't have anything to do with it. It doesn't seem godly, if that makes sense.
I
it
agree.
seems mechanical. So 21.
This is definitely unlike anything you've seen both in your time as a mercenary and in your time both in hell and here. This seems like something completely different. However, there's something about the person who seems to be working inside that's vaguely familiar, but really distantly.
It could be like an old friend. It could be somebody I saw in a traveling play. Like you just can't place
Exactly,
them.
yeah. Alan, can you roll me, please, an investigation check?
22.
You've built a lab fairly recently, so you're familiar with kind of what's available. And honestly, with the resources that Bryn and the Thieves Guild made available to you, you're able to buy the best of the best. And this stuff is leagues beyond what you've seen.
Oh, that's scary.
However, two things start to happen. One, the tech as well as the defense system in the hallway seem vaguely similar to some of the weapons you've seen wielded by the Unseen Hand in your combat maneuvers against them during the war. Also, you get a weird sense of deja vu.
Oh, no.
When everyone seems kind of settled in there, surmising what's going on here, Gary will try to get everyone's attention to kind of pull them over just out of view of the portal.
Yep.
Yeah.
This seems very advanced. Has anyone seen anything like this before? I'm not sure if your wizard bat friend might want to.
Oh, if you go yay or nay, then she can like raise a wing for
Yeah.
yay.
I kind of
give
want
it
her
for
for
nay.
vocabulary at this point, is my issue.
I kind of shrug my shoulders. I might as well. And I turn back into Alan.
Welcome back, Alan. You're the resident magic expert. Yeah, what's up?
Seems to be unseen handish.
What makes you seem that?
Just the level of tech, it just seems like some of the things that we saw during all of our battles.
Do you think we could get through it without being injured?
I feel like we could definitely get through.
Gary,
Yeah.
if I wrap young Helmet Head in like some cloth.
Sorry, what is a young helmet head?
Oh, this is young Helmet Head, and I hold up the rock. It's a long legacy of really great scouts. So if I were
A
to
rock, okay.
Yeah, if I were to wrap the rock in cloth, do you think you could go up and try to drop it through as gently and quietly as possible? Because then if there's something that'll kill something, theoretically it'd blast the rock, right?
This rock is a good idea to test, but you mentioned unseen hand. Is it just the level of technology that tips you off on this, or any insignia or anything like that?
No, but it's really close to the best of the best that we've seen
Honestly,
of the
and
unseen hand.
The doctor inside also looks weirdly familiar to me. There could have been a meeting. It could have been somebody on staff. I don't know. I know I'm the guy who's always like, what if we pretend to be somebody else? But if I go through first and it's an unseen hand fortress, worst case scenario, I'm getting ahead. I could pretend to be Reginald because he's fucking dead, but we fake deaths all the time. They're nobility. Also, I fucking look like him. I got the beard. We could confuse the shit out of them. And then theoretically, I could back out or try to bluff my way out or something. And then it's not all of us completely screwed in the middle of Portal World.
It's his brother.
Oh,
Reginald.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm one of the tinglers, so that whole unseen hand, evil family trying to take over the world. Prodigal son right here. Oh, God, it's a worst family ever.
I'm not sure how you all feel, but I like this plan. Plus, it could really be a shortcut in trying to get out of here if this is a space outside of the coffin.
Yeah, Quinny keeps looking at those big tubes. Yeah, I want to get in there.
So, rock first.
Yep, so I tear up some of my pants and wrap the rock in cloth so that it's not just a rock hitting
You know
a
you
floor.
can do other things than tearing your clothing. I feel by the end of this, there will be a little decency left.
Here you go.
Wait, what?
I give you the rock.
He wants
'Cause
you
you're
to
gonna
carefully
sneak.
drop it.
I'm
Oh.
a terrible sneak. I might as well just walk
fair.
the hell through if we're going to have me try to sneak a rock.
I mean, that's going to happen eventually. But yes, so I will nod to the group and sneak.
Roll me a stealth check, please.
Cha-cha-cha-cha. 28.
Nice.
Fuck me. So I think what you do is you sneak up to the edge of the portal. You actually unwrap the pant thing, and you use it to lean the rock through and roll it out so that it rolls gently and quietly to the ground rather than dropping in any way, shape, or form. As it passes through, the surface ripples, but then it lands safely on the other side. So you successfully recover the rock. It doesn't seem to have changed at all.
Yeah.
It didn't get Cronenberged by going through.
I look to Gary and I make a series of hand gestures that are like sign language that I assume he knows because he seems like he knows how to fight. But
So it's like Captain Roberts sign language
yeah,
that you built?
it's very clearly only Grey White syndicate language. And then I look at him expectantly.
Just throw you the rock.
I give him a nod. And then I put the rock in my pocket, and then I'm just going to essentially stumble through the door breathing hard. Like, I'm just going to make it look like I came out of nowhere.
Can you roll me, let's say, a survival check, please? The reason I'm asking you to roll this is it's a performance of being exhausted.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
Nice.
19 total.
So you stumble in and you look partially also because...
I'm shirtless and
Well, and
torn
there's also
pants.
just that 1 second as you step through the mysterious portal that no one understands of, we didn't test organics, but you make it through and you trip on the lip of the portal as you go through. You stumble into the room, you fall to your knees, you look up and there's a very aged drow with long white hair that's held up in a bun with pencils, sort of classic scientisty way. She turns as you stumble through. You can see she's got a collar on her neck. She looks at you with tremendous surprise and recognition. And she says, Bobby? Bobby Tingler, is that you?
And I look at her and I know her name because it's the mother figure that matters to all great people who lack for mother figures. Martha?
God.
A smile spreads across her features. And you can tell she's very old. And I mean, for a drow, that's saying something. But her smile's kind of crooked. You can tell that she probably had a stroke at some point. Half of her features are a little more slack. But her eyes are very bright, very sharp, pure red. You remember me. Fascinating. So now that you're in the room, you remember the name. You vaguely remember her from your time as a child. You haven't seen her in quite some time.
Are they negative or positive memories?
I think it's fond, but very distant.
Generically pleasant.
Generically pleasant, but also irregular. This isn't someone who is just around all the time, almost like a work associate of your parents when you're a kid. Now that you're in the room, you can see it's a large metal chamber. There don't seem to be any entrances or exits. The walls are lined with tubes stacked too high, filled with fluid. You can see dark shapes floating in them that look vaguely halfling-sized. At the far end of the hall, there seems to be 2 operating tables. One has a blank Quinny body on it that's strapped in and seems to have tubes and things coming in and out of it. The other has Von Strauss, and he is stripped naked, tied down the same way the Quinny body is. He has a bunch of tubes and things on him. You can see a bunch of what we would understand as modern lab equipment, microscopes, test tubes, vials, petri dishes. Situated above both the Quinny body and Von Strauss, there seem to be a tremendous amount of mechanical armatures. And you can see sort of desks and tables and that sort of thing. But it definitely seems to be a workspace.
I whispered to the group outside the portal, like he made it through and wasn't disintegrated. Someone called him by his actual name, and he responded, so there's no Reginald Play here or anything like that. Let's just go through and back him up.
Wait, his actual name is Bobby?
Bobbert, actually. No, yeah,
It's
It's-
don't worry.
it's
about
a
it.
weird thing to go
Seriously.
from-
Quinny, you don't worry. It's not your fault.
but I feel like I need to explain half the time because I associate with him so often.
Yes, then let us follow.
You enter into the room. You see exactly what I just described. Quinny, the sight of a room
Yeah.
full of you floating is pretty horrible.
Martha, these are my friends. But how did she react? And then I can figure out how I'm trying
So
to
she's
persuade.
reacted very kindly. However, you get the sense that no one really comes down here. So she's surprised to see you, but she obviously is clocking the
damage and the shirtlessness shirtlessness
Well,
and
the
the prison
shirtlessness,
garb.
but that
and
you're wearing prison garb. She can see that you're wearing one of the bomb collars.
my whole body is horrific flame burns.
Yeah, there's a lot going on for her right now. And she's very concerned about these other people who've just stumbled in as well.
Okay, so what I want
Her
to do
hand
is...
kind of rises to her own neck as you step through.
Oh, Martha, no, we're not going to hurt you. These guys, they're here with me. We're just trying to find von Strauss. It's a long thing. I mean, you know my family, very dramatic. Things are always changing. I'm so sorry that we stumbled upon you. I just want to ask a couple of questions, get a little bit of help, and then we'll get right out of your hair because I know you're probably busy. 15 total.
So she calms down a bit, but you can tell she's very stressed about these other people being in here. How did you come to be here?
Came through the portal like we did. There's a portal leads in here.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, that. I mean, do you mean like general life? Because this is, I don't know how long you want to talk, but
Well, are you a prisoner here?
yes.
Wait, where are we?
I believe the common term is the coffin.
Okay, she knows where we are. This is good.
So this portal just leads to another part of the coffin?
This works the same way a door does.
Very fancy door.
She does that classic scientist burdened with having to explain, say, the Otacon from Metal Gear thing where she pushes her glasses up. It's a bit more complicated than that, but it might as well be, unfortunately. They've trapped me in here. I can only enter next through the portal you see behind you.
Do you want out?
She kind of looks to her work and...
It's okay if you want to stay. We're not going to judge you.
Oh, I'm still very confused why you need a portal in the prison when doors will just work.
I think on the scale of things, Gary, we probably need to let this one go. Because I feel like we could stay and we get 6 hours of how the gate works. But if it's a door...
I don't need to know how it works. I just need to know why.
She quickly explains that her lab doesn't exist in the prison. It exists externally to the prison. However, they've built this gate to allow her to continue her work in her lab while still keeping her within the prison.
So
we
she's
are-
a prisoner.
Yes.
So we are not in the coffin.
Currently, we're not, but we might as well be.
Now
So the only way in and out is from the coffin, but it's attached, but they got to keep her here. Okay, cool. So what are you doing?
Just for the record, Gary is now wandering around. He's just taking himself to wander.
and she, I will say, so she's eyeing you very cautiously,
Fair.
particularly because you're moving, but she keeps darting glances at Alan.
I'm going to look at Martha and say, Martha, you seem a little freaked out by all of us. What if we let you do a tour and we'll walk in single file behind you? I start pitching my voice slightly more towards Gary because then we won't touch stuff that will make the old lady upset.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'd love a tour.
Can you roll a deception check? If you genuinely want one, then I'll let it be persuasion.
Okay, they're the same. 8.
She believes you, but is still highly suspicious because it seems sort of like, do you want to see the vault where we keep the money? Yeah, I'd love to see that.
No, yeah, I never thought you'd ask.
She doesn't seem inclined to give it to her, but she's very curious. You've got a Frankenstein monster. You've got a crazy mage thing going on. She says, well, listen, Bobby, I haven't much time. I have very important work here where I'm at a very delicate phase. And she looks to von Strauss and the empty tube floating next to him. She said, a very sensitive point in my work. But it's been so long, and you always were my greatest achievement. So allow me to examine what's become of you and tell me a bit of your life story, and I'll be happy to help you however you need.
Okay, cool. I'll bullet point it here, and then we'll imagine that I did it better overall. But I explain how the family was pushing me out on the front lines because I was supposed to be the best God of War person ever. And then I got injured, and I got left behind by the army, and I got saved by the mercenaries, went off. I sort of explained the whole backstory of the whole crew. Quinny, Alan, all this stuff that's going on. Gary, I get confused about exactly where Gary got involved in the story, as I usually do. So he actually, for me, starts sometime around the Tornado Islands. Like I accidentally think Gary has been with us pre-Bucky, and I just start including him in stories as a more reliable member of the group. There's a point where I may have actually mixed up him and Bucky and then start leaving Bucky out and think Gary is Bucky.
I mean, that
This
tracks.
is also compounded by the fact if he's telling a story, I am actively trying to sneak away to look around.
Yeah, but I keep gesturing to him, so he keeps having to turn around and pretend that he was just honored.
So can you, Gary, can you roll me 3 stealth checks, please?
Sure.
And Butthole, can you roll me 3 performance checks, please?
Rule number 1, 25.
Rule number 1, 13.
Rule number 2, 17.
4.
Rule number 3, 23.
17.
So, Gary, you managed to pull off the Boo from Mario's special, where every time she turns, you are just casual as fuck. And then the minute you look away, she looks away, you're back to sneak it around.
I get to the end of my story, and it's Quinny dying, how it's weird that this is Quinny's body that's appeared all over the place, and we're curious about that. And then I get to von Strauss and explain how we're here to pull him out because he's a good dude and we're friends.
Okay, write down what you're looking for, Julian, for me, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, sure.
If there's anything in particular, if not, that's fine too.
And this point in the podcast, Gary had some goals that were slightly different than the rest of the team, so he and our DM Tom rolled some dice, had a secret conversation, and wrote down his goals. The rest of us knew nothing, and then we returned to the adventure.
This naked cleric. Moonhammer. Ugh. I'm actually, just muttering to myself as I'm sneaking and you're talking in the background. Like, oh, it sounds like it's going to incorporate me again.
Can I get everyone's passive perception, please?
14.
I got 12.
10.
13.
So here's how this is going to work. Obviously, because Martha asked Butthole specifically for details, you feel like he kind of has to appease her with that before you can ask anything else. So she's going to respond, but Quinny, this is a very strange room for you. So what's going through your head right now?
I don't think I'm paying attention to the story or any sort of like social decorum of, not touching anything in the lab or anything like that. Quinny would see these two, they're tables that Von Strauss and his body are on, or?
Like operating tables.
Yeah.
And I'm talking like, I've been trying to avoid this fucking metaphor, but the Darth Vader slabs from Revenge of the Sith, that sort of thing. So it's padded.
I think I walked straight over there, and Quinny's not a very scientifically minded person or anything like that, but I think even he realizes like tubes from a Quinny to a Von Strauss, like I think maybe even as you're wrapping up the story, Quinny will just say like, can you do that to me? And point to Von Strauss.
Transfer you?
Are you making him like that? And I point to the Quinny.
You'll have to give me a moment, dear. I'm dealing with that with Bobby.
No, hold on. This is important to me.
Hey, don't you be rude to Martha.
Look all around you. This is all me.
You?
Yes. I'm Quinny Brownbarrow. Does that mean anything to you?
Okay, Martha, this is a weird argument for me to be in the middle. It's like somebody's yelling at your aunt. It's not fun. But this is Quinny. We went to hell. That's what I was saying at the end of the story. Sorry, he interrupted. He has every right, honestly, to be pretty urgent about this.
Oh, of course. I
We
understand.
went to hell, brought him back. I sewed together a body, and then I shoved his soul into the body. So that's why Quinny's alive again. He's actually pretty excited about the idea of being in a Quinny body as opposed to, this vastly superior physical specimen I made for him, which is vaguely insulting, but you intolerate that from friends.
But I actually have to agree with him. This body is terrible. It makes no sense. The aesthetic is awful.
It's about function.
But
okay, so he wants to
put them
switch
together.
So before we get to us, theoretically, we'll give a brief answer. Do you think you could put his soul into a Quinny body?
Well, I don't see why not. It requires someone to be the vessel for his soul as we transfer it over. But if someone cared enough about him to be able to continually hold the idea of him in their head, we'd be able to transfer it easily enough.
Do you think you could do that with your love for him, or do you just need to be like real smart? Because that will strongly factor into who can assist him with this.
Well, I think that depends on what you value most. It'll likely affect the transfer as well.
Oh, then I think we should go with love. I volunteer as tribute.
Sorry, just interrupt, which might be pertinent. Just on the number 2 thing, investigation. Spend my inspiration. Rolled a total of a 7.
Thank you. Alan, also, we haven't got your thoughts. What's going on in your head? Then tell us how you'd weigh in on this.
Well, I might agree. My head's a little crowded at the moment.
Do you know what? It's true. You do have a lot of psychological things. Unless, would it be possible, Martha, because you've clearly got some magic science here, if we could pull Quinny into a mindscape where he could just exist on his own and then go into a body, would that work?
Only if we can get my collar off.
Don't bring magic into this. Please, be better than that.
I forgot about your old sessions, Martha, and you know what? I love you for him. No magic into this. What if I can hold him?
She looks at you and she says, you never received the God of War, as was your purpose.
What do you mean received?
You never became the vessel.
No, they abandoned me.
She looks devastated. You gave her the worst news she could have heard, but she recovers quickly, sighs, and says, well, I did design you to hold an essence, so I don't see why you couldn't hold this thing. It's an inferior essence, but I suppose it'd be easy enough to transfer if you could hold him in your mind long enough.
Okay, we're going to come back to the first bit. Quinny, I imagine you've got some rush that you'd like put on this?
Quinny is like in and out of being in this conversation. Like as soon as it starts going like to the minutia of like how it gets done, like he doesn't care enough. He's just like he's looking back at what he used to be.
You can also see in that horrible way that you do with things floating in tubes, some of them are in the process of being grown. So there's just some like malformed versions of you that aren't quite there yet. It's
Like an alien resurrection kind of thing.
Yeah, it's nightmare fuel.
Gross.
Do you know what? Let's do that, and then we'll talk.
He will need a few moments to recover once we've successfully...
Perfect. Then we'll let him take a nap, and then we can get into this. So, yeah, let's go for it.
She looks to the body on the slab and she says, well, I was in the process of attempting to create a hybrid, but I suppose I could do that on another one.
Yeah, let's do that on another one.
Fresh one I've got. So she unplugs the stuff from Von Strauss, and she starts doing that idle thing doctors do, where they just kind of talk their way through things as she's getting instruments prepared.
Yeah, the doctor verbal equivalent of like a pilot's pre-flight checklist.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna suck up some tubes and find a new soul. It's a lovely, turbulent soul that we're flying over.
But the current time in Quinny body is 12:33, so change those watches.
Approximately 23 and a half years of age. Everybody's looking pretty fit. 8% body fat, surprisingly on top of a physical ball. Reaction times are normal. I think you're going to have a great time in your new body. Please enjoy.
That's great. Use that one. That's great. That is very good. We got there. Yeah.
This episode of Dum-Dums and Dragons features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Laura Hamstra at EL Hamstring on Twitter, our special guest, and our DM Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Dum-Dums and Dragons artwork is by Del Borovic, who can be found at delborovic.com. Our theme songs are And Now for That Massive Coronary and Skipping Through the Orchestra Pit Part 1 by Peter Gresser, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum-Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDUMBDICE. And tune in next week for more Dum-Dums and Dragons.